Hey guys, welcome back to The Humble Hippie. First off, if you would like to follow me on Instagram, it is thehumblehippie.uk. I would love it if you became a part of the family over there. So, okay, self-partnered. I came home the other day from therapy and my mum was telling me about Emma Watson, and she did this interview apparently, and I've seen it now. Emma Watson was turning 30 and she had this sort of anxiety about turning 30 that she didn't expect, because in her 20s she was like, what's the big deal about turning 30? There is none. And I was exactly the same. And then when this 6-month end date was approaching, it turned me into a little bit of a psycho. It really sent me through a loop a little bit. And I think it's because society, pretty much, and what you see on telly generally, tell you that you should be married. You should be married. You should have children, your job, your career. You should be in a stable place. And I think that's what she was on about, really. I think just normal conventions in society tell you that you should be at all these different points of your life, and when you're not, it becomes quite stressful, really. And I think she has got, it's kind of like a bit 50-50 with what Emma was saying, and she called herself self-partnered. Now, there's people saying self-partnered, it sounds hippy-dippy, and it's just another thing to try and make single positive and stuff like that. And I was just thinking, when I was reading all this thing, because I thought she'd get some flack for it from different people, and she did. And when I was reading some of the stuff that they were saying, I was just like, and it was all mainly about putting a positive spin on being single. And I was like, when did we get into a point in our lives that being single means, connotes all this bad stuff? And I was like, I'm single right now, and I've been single for years now, and I feel like being single is liberating. It's so freeing. You're just not tied to another person. And I understand that sometimes being single is lonely, especially at Christmas and Valentine's Day and stuff like that, but it doesn't have to be. And I thought Emma's words about self-partnership, I thought that was kind of on the money if you're single. And I found it funny that the haters that were commenting about what she said were married generally. They had children generally. You know what I mean? They've not got the single lifestyle that Emma has and that I have and that so many other women and men do. And I think to comment on something that they don't really know about anymore just seems stupid to me. Obviously, there was the other half of the point of view where everyone was kind of saying, well done, Emma, for being so brave. And she's such a celebrity, really, and or actress. But in terms of fame, she's up there. So I think for her to come out and go, you know what, I was a little bit daunted about being 30 and it stressed me out, and you know what, I've come to terms with I'm self-partnered. I'm single. I'm happy being single. Sometimes I date other guys, sometimes I kiss other guys, because then they were saying that, oh yeah, she's self-partnered and all this sort of stuff, but she's pictured kissing some guys. And I was just like, oh my goodness, are we going back to it was just that stereotypical kind of she's not really self-partnered, because I'm looking to kind of make it, put a negative spin on it, like she's not being truthful or something like that. I kiss guys all the time, when I go out or I'm having fun and things like that, and it doesn't make me any less self-partnered. I thought she put it in a really elegant term, really. I mean, single, yeah, you're single. You are single, but I feel like single sometimes has negative aspects to it, and I think that's because society puts, oh, you're single, oh, you know what I mean? And I thought Emma's words about self-partnership was quite good on that front, because it's almost like a choice, and it, like, for someone like me, and I'm sure Emma Watson, I mean, she can have whatever anybody that she wants, Emma Watson, and she's choosing just to, no, I'm gonna take some time for myself, and this is what I'm happy doing me at the minute. And I feel like I can get on board with that, because I'm not even sure that I want a relationship down the road. I'm not actively dating. I'm not. If you ask me what are the 3 things that I want out of life, my family to be settled, and kind of everyone to be happy. I think second, doing something for work that I absolutely adore, and third, not in this order obviously, because this would be top of the list, but, and I want children. But in those 3 things, I don't necessarily need a relationship to have any of those three things. So, and I've found that quite a lot. I mean, I've been in long relationships, so I think taking that time to be single or self-partnered is a good thing, really, because you kind of find out more about yourself. I've never known more about myself than this time when I've been single and just doing things for me. And it's about exploring yourself and what you like, and in different areas of your life as well. And sometimes I don't think you can do that in a long-term relationship, or either I've not been able to do that in my relationships. I kind of go on board of what they kind of want, or you become a version of yourself that's not quite you. And that's been the case for relationships for me so far. So unless someone comes, I mean, it could be argued that I've not found the right one, and I'm sure I most definitely haven't. So I think if they came along, that might change my perspective a little bit. But at the minute, I just think I'm happy doing stuff on my own. I mean, I think if my dad hadn't had his strokes and I didn't become a full-time carer, and I think that was the main reason why I was single for so long, because you don't want to put someone else in that position with you. And now there's not really any reason not to date, or apart from I'm dealing with the aftermath of what I handle with my dad and things like that. But I think I'm just happy being on my own, and I think I needed to realise that, and I think therapy, talking about it in therapy has totally made me change my mind about how my friends see being in a relationship and how I see being in a relationship. And I think it comes back to that non-conformist identity that I'm pushing myself towards a little bit. It's like my friends that 1 or 2 of them are like, so when are you getting a boyfriend? When are you doing this? When are you doing that? And I don't need to kind of go along the timeline. If they've got a timeline for things and they want to do that, that's absolutely great. But for me, I'm not like that. And I think I've just been kind of unhappy, like trying to make people around me more comfortable about my decisions. And I think that is so stupid. And I think that's what being in therapy is about, is talking through these things. And she's kind of made me see that, like, I don't need to live life for other people or to make them feel more comfortable about my choices, or, you know what I mean? I need to be happy in myself. And for me, being in a relationship is just not at the top of that list. So I actually adored Emma Watson coming out and saying, I'm self-partnered, nearly 30, and I'm happy with that. And she's happy being an actress and an activist and exploring ways to help people. And I think that's such a great thing to be able to do and say, and for her not to feel any negativity around that, because so many people were so eager to say, oh, self-partnered, ha ha ha, you know what I mean? So I think, and she won't care, like, it'll be like water off a duck's back, because I can say this now, and if someone comments saying a bit like that, self-partnerships like bullcrap and things like that, I'll just be like, it's okay, you can have your view, obviously, and I'll have mine. And I think me being single or self-partnered or whatever you would like to call it, if it makes you feel better and it makes you feel like you've chosen this lifestyle, I think that's the difference between single and self-partnership. I feel like if you're single but you want a relationship, I feel like it's different than being self-partnered. I feel self-partnership is all about like not actively looking for a date, not actively looking for another person, I think, to come into your life. I think it's all about you going through some kind of growth and just embracing time with yourself. I think that's basically self-partnership. So good on her for, I mean, usually I'm not one for boxing things in. I don't really see the point of labels, but I feel like the self-partnership tag fits in quite well, because sometimes I don't think the word single says that you're choosing to be single. I feel like self-partnership does. I feel like you're choosing to be self-partnered. So that's my view on that anyway. Thank you so much for watching and hearing me babble on. Subscribe if you want to subscribe, and like this video if you like this video. So thank you. Mwah!